Everybody, this is Magda from Hairrari. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a disconnected short haircut on Megan here. So first we're going to be clipping the hair up so we can cut the underneath of the hair. Always make sure your lines are clean and use the clips to part the hair. And if it's not a clean line, do it again. Try to keep your area where you're working always neat and precise. Okay, so first we parted the top of the hair up, clipped it up. Make sure the lines are clean. And now we're ready to start cutting the underneath part of the hair. The way I gauge where to part it is at the top of the head by the end of the eyebrow. Because you don't want to keep it too low. I mean, there's different types of undercuts, but for this look, we're parting it at the top of the head. Cool. So now you want to decide on the length of the underneath. So good ways to determine the length for the client is asking the client where they want the hair to sit. Whether it's above the ear, longer than the ear, 4 is a half an inch, or 3 is more of a faded look. So for today's look, I'm gonna try 5 first just to see what it looks like. We'll take it from there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do a natural hairline in the back, which means no hard lines. And we do this because it makes the haircut grow out better. So I'm taking a wand blade and creating a hairline that looks normal. So whenever you're dealing with hairlines that trail down on to the back, or there's cowlicks in the hairline, just grab the wand, create a hairline like this, and then fade it in. So this is a 1, and this is a 5. So now I'm going to grab a 4, 3, 2 to blend this in. You always should be checking your shape from the front and looking at the person head on and checking your shape from the sides. So when you're looking at the shape of your haircut, always look at it from this angle. So there it is, the natural hairline. Okay, so at this point, you want to be finished with the underneath completely. Any fading at the bottom should be finished by now, and now we're going to do the top. With hair cutting, most importantly, you should keep it simple. It's not very hard to cut hair as long as you stay with the right technique. And there's only one technique for cutting shorter hair. And once you master the square shape, you can basically go and create any other shape. So this is what I'm going to be showing you now. At this point, we're determining the length for this haircut, which is going to be falling around the cheek. So take your comb, show the client, and decide. So we've decided to have this falling at the cheek, which I'm putting the comb here, and I'm seeing it's about 2.5 inches I'm going to be taking off. And I want this length to kind of fall there. Basically, to create the square shape, I'm going to start at the side. You could start at the back or at the side. So, grabbing the hair, combing it straight out, and I'm going to take off that 2.5 inches that we decided to take off. As you can see, my angles are very straight, and my cutting line is also going to be very straight. Just imagine a box around the head. So those are your lines. So I cut one section, then another, then I'm taking half an inch of the next section and half of the previous section that I just cut as my guide. The front you always want to over-direct slightly to compensate for the forehead where there is no hair. So I'm grabbing that front piece, over-directing it back, and cutting. It's a very simple haircut. It shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes to cut. So I'm basically going around the head in pie sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or how many sections it takes you. It all depends on the density of the hair. So I'm happy with this length, and now the last step is cutting the top of the head. So at this point you want to cut the top. Also keep in mind the angle that we're cutting. Just always think of the box. So I'm picking up a section on the top of the head, using the sides as my guide, and going straight across. I'm taking a section in front of that, and I don't know if you could see, but I am taking about 1 inch sections. And going straight across. And then the front section. Also, as you can see, I'm not putting any texture into the hair. I'm cutting this bluntly. After I create my blunt shape, that's when I'm going to texturize the whole haircut, again using the same exact sections. Okay, now the finishing touches, I'm going to put a little bit of the salt spray from Evo. Dry the hair completely before texturizing, and for any short hair I blow dry. I don't use brushes, I just use my hands because I'm not trying to change the shape of the hair. We are working on wash and wear hairstyles. So right now I'm going to be using texturizing shears to add a little texture to this haircut. So basically I'm grabbing at the same sections as I did before, going in about 2 inches and adding a little bit of texture at the ends so the ends are not so blunt. It's really important to stay within the sections and keep the same sections as you did before while cutting the blunt cut, because you don't want to grab the same section twice and thin it out too much. So as long as you keep it systematic, then your haircuts will grow out more precisely. Alright, so it's all textured now. Last step, I'm going to be combing it forward and checking how it looks in the front. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. After I do the new shears, I always go over it with regular shears, just cleaning it up. Another technique you can use for texturizing is just grabbing sections of the hair and slicing it with regular shears. So basically you're taking a piece and you're shaving half of that section to give it some texture. Yes, at this point I'm checking the perimeter and seeing if there's any loose hairs that I missed. So this. Cool, so there we are, ready for some product. To finish off this haircut, we're just going to add a little bit of the dust hair powder. So what you want to do is make sure the hair is dry and sprinkle a little bit of the dust on the root of the hair. This is the product that you'd want to use if you don't want your hair to be sticky, but still have a lot of texture and a little bit of hold. And there we have it.